So I'm a black farmer, and a lot of people are wondering, why are black farmers not panicking like a lot of white farmers? Well, let me explain to you the reasons why. It's because white farmers have been handed everything to them. A lot of them. Not saying all of them, but a good bit of them. And by that I mean this. MLK even pointed out. He says, farmers in the West and the Midwest who were white, they were given land, they were given money, they were given training, they were given a lot. Whereas the black farmers weren't given anything in the...
I'm seeing all these videos right now where all these farmers are crying about not getting no help right now. You know what? Let me ask you something. When have you ever heard of a black farmer crying about it? Never. And you want to know why? Because they ain't never got no help in the first place.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from now. Most white farmers are now experiencing economic pain for the first time, directly caused by policies of a leader they voted for. And it is for this case that they are coming out to complain why the black Americans or the black community is not actually talking, and why the black community is not much vocal on issues that are affecting them at the moment. Do you really think the black community is going to side with them after pain? They have experienced pain for 400 years. So let's watch this, then have a talk later.
Largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history is Pickford v. Glickman, where you had a class action lawsuit, bunch of black farmers all joined the lawsuit, and they won a huge settlement because the USDA was shown to be racist for decades. So because black farmers haven't been given anything, we've been learning to do without, unlike your white farmers. So when things are taken away from you, all your subsidies, all your tax breaks, guess what? You panic. Whereas we've always been going through this shit. So there's problems in privilege.
That's right. USDA is literally admitted to discriminating against black farmers. And literally black farmers had to sue, thousands of them, to get what white farmers are handed for free. And fast forward to today, all these farmers crying that they can't get no help. You see, black farmers, they've been struggling. Y'all just now feeling what they've been feeling for over 100 years. Black farmers, they used to own over 19 million acres of land. But guess what? Systematic racism, denied loans, shady politicians, and legal loopholes wiped them all out. Yeah. And now they're 1% of America's farmland. When the government finally tried to pass relief for the black folk back in 2021, white farmers sued to block it, claimed it was reverse discrimination. Make that make sense. So, next time you see folks complaining about farm aid, why don't you ask them, where's the help for the black farmers? Ask them why their struggle is just now important when others have been suffering for centuries.
It seemed crazy to me. I just seen a scale that they put out talking about how much money each demographic makes, which to me is crazy that you even release those numbers. But nevertheless, I just don't understand. This is why the farmers is messed up now, because they see that and they see African Americans at the bottom making $35,000 a year, and they don't know we've been out here grinding and taking care of ourselves this whole time. Because I get mad stuff for free. Like, I don't know anybody who makes $35,000 like on paper who lives at $35,000. Like, they still get their hair done, get their nails done, get everything done, because, and you like, how you getting that done? They talk about it, people like, oh, she goes to get EBT, but she got her nails done, and she do the, because you know that my man down the street, he flips cars, and he gonna let me drive this one as long as I watch his son. Do you know that my girl, she does my hair for free as long as I, hook her up every now and then and come through with the fish plates. Like, we've been on that. We got a whole circuit of people. That's how we move. That's how we live. I wouldn't go by that. That's why these farmers is messed up, because they thought they was going to get the Latinos out of the country and then black people was going to take over.
Hey, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, but I get so sick and tired of people complaining and always using race. So, as we all know, when the Trump administration came in, as promised, they were going to cut down the federal workforce. So, it just so happened over 100,000 black women were cut from working from federal jobs. But white people were fired too from federal employment. So I'm sick of the complaining. And to top it all off, y'all, as of 2023, the U.S. labor force is 76.5% white, 12.8% black, and 18.8% Hispanics. Even the Hispanics are working more than black people. And you sitting up here complaining. Enough. Stop complaining. You guys need to stop complaining. Black people are not contributing more than any other race to this country. So stop complaining. It's enough. Everybody's sick of you playing the race card. You're not in bad as shape as you think you are. Stop complaining. Another thing. When we talk about victims of violent crimes, 62% white people are victims of violent crimes, while 12% black people are victims of violent crimes. Once again, stop complaining. When you talk about we're never going to go into slavery, when you talk about slavery, yes, black people were slaves. But you had people, thousands of white people that died during the Civil War trying to stop slavery. So let's just stop with all that and come together. Stop with all that. And another thing, I'm going to keep going. 78% of all white people are employed. 78% of all white people are employed. And to top it all off, guess what, guys? 96% are farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural managers. So white people are responsible for feeding you when you want to grab a nice fresh fruits and vegetables. 96% are farmers and ranchers. White people are doing that stuff. Stop complaining, for the love of God. Enough. Another thing, the nice houses you want to live in, 92% of construction managers are white people. 90% chief executives and all these banking businesses are white people. What are you complaining about? Stop complaining. White people are mostly making the world go round and round. And it's not, and I'm not trying to knock the black race, but I'm just telling you to please, for the love of God, stop complaining. And another thing, white people are, according to the data, a majority people that are on food stamps. So their food stamps are getting cut too. They can't buy junk food either. It's not just the black people. Stop playing victim. Everybody has had enough. We don't want to hear no more. So let's just all work together to make the world keep going. Stop complaining. Stop playing victim. Take responsibility for your actions. We all need each other. So let's just stop this and work together. Enough. Nobody wants to hear your complaining anymore. Work together. I just gave you the statistics. Every area that you think you're having it bad in, white people have it bad also. You're not the only ones that's struggling out here. You're not the only ones that lost jobs. White people lost jobs too, but they don't get up here always complaining and playing victim. They keep going and find another job. Let's all work together. We all need each other. Let's just start now. Have a good night.
I think the real reason that some white people get upset or like don't understand when they see black people in spaces that they're in, or black people in positions of authority or advancing and things like that, the reason that they relate it to like, well, it must be like you're getting something that you're not qualified for, or like it is racism, but there's another underlying part of that. And it really boils down to the fact that they can't fathom a reality where you advance in life, where you get a position, where you move up, at all without stealing something or stepping on somebody or exploiting somebody. They can't, in their brain, they don't have any recall within their collective history of any time period where they've been able to build without stealing or massacring or doing something to somebody else. So like when they see another group of people, whether that be black people or POC, in positions that they feel like, well, no, that's my position. And when they see them, they think that, well, you couldn't have got it any other way besides taking it from somebody and like stealing it. There's no way you actually worked for it, because in their history and present day, they don't have, even within the country itself, standing up the United States, they don't have any like precedent of like existing, like moving up, like building without taking something from somebody, without stealing. Like they have no creativity in their mind. Well, not even creativity, they have no recall and lack the imagination to imagine that being a possibility. So when they see a black person or a POC in spaces and things like that, it's got to be the DEI thing, even though it don't make sense. That's the only thing they have in their brain. It's like the only way you able to make it, the only way I know you make it in this world is by stealing stuff and like, you know, exploiting and like taking things away from people that belong to them. Take things, and that's it. That's all they got. So yeah, it's the racism, of course, but it's also there's another part of that psychologically where they just don't have the recall. There's no precedent set yet, and they refuse. I don't know, to set a precedent where they can, you know, advance, evolve without exploiting or stealing from other people across the globe and right next door. You know, so that's it. They just can't understand in their brain and just don't connect. Like, how were you able to make it as a black person? And then to look at a black person and know like black people's history of subjugation and oppression, and then see you actually moving, they're like, no, there's absolutely no how you fucking doing that. Blows their brain. So they had to come up with something, and the only thing they come up is what they were able to do since the beginning of days. And by the way, yes, that is stealing from other people, taking all the things, culture, resources, land. That's it. That's all they have, unfortunately for them, because eventually you keep resting on the fact you got to steal while other people making advancements on their own, pulling their own selves up by the bootstraps, even without fucking boots, making the boots themselves. Come day where you don't even know how to make boots. You don't know how to do anything. Okay, y'all have a great day.
Fam, what is this nonsense I'm hearing about white Midwestern farmers thinking black folks were going to come and work their goddamn fields after they mass deported all of the migrant workers? What in the fuck? They don't know us at all. They don't know any fucking thing about us. Like our own fucking parents and grandparents didn't size our asses the fuck up. Let us know everything about ourselves. Like when my grandmother looked at me at a young age and said, young lady, you need to keep your black ass in school and go on to college. Working outdoors is not for you. That's my fucking grandmother. She knew me. She was right. So what did I do? Stayed my ass in school. Went on off to college. And now you're looking at a 6-figure nigga. What in the fuck would I look like picking Earl's corn? Earl can kiss my ass. If he could do my black job, I wouldn't have it, now would I?
I'm in my greenhouse planting some vegetables, and I'm thinking about all these farmers that's losing the farms. All them white farmers, not the black farmers, because we donating to them. You don't hear the black farmers crying the blues, but them white farmers, oh shit, they talking about they losing their farms now because of Trump. But they voted for Trump. But they losing their farms. Right. The black farmers, you don't hear them crying the blues, right? Here's the difference. See, they wasn't dependent on the government. When you depend on the government to take care of you, my daddy told me never depend on the government. Now see, if they cut my little social security check, I ain't gonna say little, but because I can use that piece of coin that I worked for. You understand? I worked 32 years for my monies, for my coins. So it's mine. But I didn't depend on the government in my retired life. You don't depend on the government. No. Anyway, back to the farmers that's losing their farms. I can't even say I feel sorry for you. But this is what I'm going to do. Look here, people. Let me tell you something. Oh, look at here. This is going to be some good eating right here. You understand what I'm saying? Look here. I just grow my own stuff. Look here. That's what I'm doing right there. Yeah. So, I ain't worried about them white farmers losing their farms. I ain't even feeling sorry because they voted for Trump. You get what you asked for. You asked for the tariffs, you got them.
I want to say this to our community, and it's going to probably piss some of y'all off, but it's the realest shit I'm going to say. Our community is so built on gatekeeping to each other that is crazy. I have been trying to learn how to farm and things like that. I've been watching a lot of TikToks and things like that, but I've been trying to figure out how to fill out this USDA loan or the application so I can start the process of trying to get some funds to get my own farm and get my own land and stuff like that. And everybody is telling me to buy their ebooks or purchase their book that they have online, which tells you everything. $30, $40 books. Now, if we live in an economy where we can barely buy eggs, what makes you think that I can afford your book? Okay? I'm just asking for some help. So if there are any black farmers in the DMV area that are willing to help other black individuals, other content creators who are looking to get into farming and learn about farming and growing our own agriculture and things like that, that are willing to help for free, that will help build the community of the black farmers, please comment or send me in that direction, because I'm so sick of y'all. I get it. Money makes the world go around. Y'all got to make a living too. I get that. But the information that y'all are giving was free to you, is what I'm saying. Y'all learned this information for free, and now y'all charging everybody else to get it, which is crazy as fuck in this economy, especially the way the world is about to finna go for us. You would think that you would want to help wholeheartedly the black community grow in farming, but y'all just want to make a buck, which is crazy. I mean, I guess that's how America works. I mean, it is how America works. It works off of money, right? It works off the dollar. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? But y'all are holding the black community stagnant that wants to learn about farming.
Racist white people trying to pretend like white people are experiencing some kind of racial oppression are some of the funniest people on the planet. I've been on this app for 5 years, and for 5 years I've heard this 1,000 times, and 0%, not 1, 2, 10, 15, 0% of the people that have made the statement talk about it on their page. They don't hold the right-wing people that they follow accountable for not talking about it on their page, because they also don't talk about it. But the biggest indicator that this is not happening is that the richest man in the world, who owns one of the biggest social media platforms in the world, seems to be absolutely quiet about this. We've all heard Elon Musk talking about government efficiency. We've heard him talking about cars. We've heard him talking about spaceships, more than he's ever uttered a word about the oppression that white South Africans are experiencing. So instead of coming on the people's page who actually speak out against racial oppression, go to your favorite right-winger, go to Elon Musk, and yell at them about why they are not talking about this totally not made up oppression.
Them farmers really thought we was going back to them fields. They really thought we was going back to them fields. You know what? My mother was the first generation on her mother's side not to be brought up on a plantation. Not to be brought up on a plantation. That's what I said. My grandfather had a 3rd grade education, but he left my mama 2 houses, property in the bank, property and money in the bank, with a 3rd grade education. And guess what? He worked in fields. My great grandmother worked in fields and cut that cane just like a man. You hear me? And if you think that Eddie Lewis and Victoria C. Jones and all the rest of my ancestors bust their tail in them fields. For us to go back to the fields? Absolutely not. That's not progress. We're trying to heal from ancestral trauma. We're trying to heal from that. That ain't happening. That produce could rot in them fields before we go back to them fields. They need to let them know that.
Policy decisions have consequences. I've said that before. And you might like what you get on the front end, but you might not like what you have to pay on the back end. See, farmers in Florida, especially tomato farmers, they're finding that out. There was a farmer interviewed on a Miami TV station, and he said that, there's two policies he kind of agrees with. One is the immigration policy, right? He says, I know we gotta do something about the borders, both north and south. But it's impacting my ability to keep staff because now a lot of my people don't show up for work. I mean, he understands that nearly half of the immigrant workforce that works on farms like his are undocumented. People are scared, both legal immigrants and undocumented immigrants. They're afraid to come to work. And he's been forced to try to hire people at a higher wage, which cuts into his profit margin, which is probably pretty slim to begin with, right? And then there's the tariff policy. See, Donald Trump's put tariffs on Mexican tomatoes. He's a tomato farmer, owns 4,000 acres in Florida and California. He said in Florida it's gotten so bad that he has to plow over fields of good tomatoes because he's got no one to pick them. And now that Mexico has been hit with this tariff on tomatoes, they're trying to get ahead of it and flooding the market with tomatoes right now. What do you think that does to the price of tomatoes in the United States? Drives it down. See, this farmer before, he was getting about $16 for a box of tomatoes. You know what he's getting now? $3 to $4. That's how much the market's collapsed. He needs about $10 to $11 just to break even. Think about the export side. So Canada's put a 25% tariff on watermelons coming from the United States. What do you think that means? Canadians might not want to pay the price. They're exporting a lot less watermelons. Farmers that are farming watermelons are feeling the pinch too. You see, you might like the policy. It might feel good on the front end. Yeah, we're closing the borders. Yeah, we're going to show them. We're going to put tariffs on them. But are you willing to pay the price on the back end? Some of you are. Some of you are really getting hurt by it. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. You might not like it.
Black farmers. Imagine how healthy we would be if we had more black farmers, or let's pretend we have only black farmers, right? I'm talking about the way that the Midwest is going to fall apart without federal funding, specifically all of these farmers, right? But one group that's going to do well is black farmers because they never got all of these handouts. And so I am not opposed to a strategy where we do let some of these rural Midwestern towns kind of fall apart on their own doing and take that as a redistricting opportunity. But think about this. Native Americans, how much healthier would our planet be and our land be if Native Americans had more farmland, which will be one of the groups that have the cash to do so. So I don't know, it's a silver lining I'm trying to think of. I was just trying to think if I've ever known a major farm or plant to have a food recall that was black owned, and if there is, I certainly can't think of it.
I have always been asking myself some questions, and this is the time maybe we should get some answers, And most of the time I've seen those who did vote for this government turning against it, and they're actually asking the other people who are supporting this government to turn against the same government they voted for. The biggest question has always been, why are the black folks not talking? Why are they so silent? Why are they so okay with how the economy is bad? Some people view this economy as one of the worst, like things are not working out for them. They're making losses. But whereas on the other side, the black folks have remained to be very silent. They're just minding their business, doing their own things without mentioning any person's name without complaining. Maybe that's whatever people are used to. Now, I want us to have a breakdown carefully and in detail why most of this black community is silent at the moment, or silent, I mean. Now, you might be asking yourself, like, why are so many black Americans remaining silent when their voice is needed at this moment? Or why are they less vocal about tariffs, deportations, and things that are just happening, which are very crazy at the moment, while white farmers and MAGA supporters are actually loudly complaining about the same? Now, I want us to have a breakdown. Let's understand this. Black Americans, or the black community, has been in the US for more than 400 years. They were brought in during the slavery period, and they have been here being worked out for all these years. They have never had privileges as some of the people have had in the US. Now, we have different historical experiences that might want to answer our question, that why are they silent? Now, we have experiences with government policies that did not favor them, or have not favored them all this time they have been in the US. Now, they have lived through systematic exclusion for centuries. Now, slavery, Jim Crow laws, and redlining, and so many other things like mass incarceration, police brutality, and voter suppression. These are some of the government policies that they had to endure during all these 400 years they have been in the US. Now, because of this, many in the black community don't expect federal or state policies to ever work for them or favor them anymore. They have gone through the worst any person can ever think of. They have been through exclusion. The economy has never been working for them. So they are very much okay when even things are not working. And this is upsetting because some of the people have been having white privileges. They have been having so many other advantages added to their names or to their races. But when it comes to the black community, things have been very, very different. It must be remembered that tariffs and deportation feel like politics as usual to them. Tell me worse that they have not seen. Many of them have been deported. Many of them have faced systematic exclusion. They have faced police brutality. Now you want to scare them with ICE? They're not scared, because they have seen much worse than this. And let's talk something like mass incarceration. Most of them have ended up in prisons for things they didn't do. And when that happened, in most of the cases, they get used to this, that the system has never been on their side. The judiciary, not on their side either. Every other political policy that was passed, both in both houses or in these states, by these governors, by the senators, it has never favored them. So what makes you think that they are going to render their voice in a time when everything feels normal to them? Because this is whatever they have been facing for a very long while without complaining. Now, if it reaches time when they are silent, it's because they have taken it for a very long time until they are used to it. To those who have done psychology will agree with me, there is something called trauma bonding. That when you go through a lot of trouble or you go through a lot of problems, you become familiar with them until you start bonding with them. You see them as very much okay. Even if you go hungry without food, it looks okay to you. Even if you are incarcerated, it's okay to you because you have expected worse than that. That's whatever is happening with most of our black community at the moment. And to those who have never faced such situations, are very shocked because They're not used to this. They're used to privileges that have come with their race. They are used to privileges that they have been given everything in their hands. They have been given job opportunities. They have gone to schools, been taught their own history. While with the black community, the history was stolen. Everything has been taken away from them. Their religion, their personality. They have been taken away from their places, from their countries. Now, they have been taken to a foreign country where they have to face all these other things. Tell me something worse than all this that can happen to them. ICE raids, they are not scared. Deportations, they are not scared. And this is making a lot of people pissed off because some of them voted to see them being deported, to see them suffer. Now, in contrast, many farmers are experiencing economic pain for the first time in their lives, directly caused by policies they voted for, And for this one thing, they are now very much upset. They want the whole world to listen to them, The economic positioning has never been on the side of the black community. Let the truth be told that black Americans are less tied to farming and international trade. And for this, they are not directly affected. Which tariffs directly affect, And most US farmers are white, so they feel the sting of tariffs on soybeans, corn, dairy, and other exports. Black Americans are more concentrated in urban areas and service sector jobs, which are less immediately hit by tariffs. They voted thinking every other policy is going to affect the black community. Now, let's remember that deportations primarily target Latino immigrants and not directly black. Not black citizens. So black Americans aren't directly losing family members due to ICE raids, in the same way Latinos are losing, Someone was arguing out that Latinos are feeling proximity to whiteness. I do not want to talk about that, but the fact that they joined hands to vote and vote for these same policies that are affecting them is very crazy. And it is because of this we are seeing an economic pressure. It is not hitting black communities at the moment that much compared to the white communities, which are more farmers. They are the ones holding big businesses, and they have a hand in international trade, meaning their companies are going to be affected and they are going to make a lot of losses. We must also remember that black Americans are on a survival mode for the longest time. And the same survival mode can be compared to the outrage mode, that many have lived the worst. And seeing them complaining has always been usual to some people. And when they're not talking at the moment, people are shocked because I see on my side that they are now used to this because the survival mode, it is for the strongest to survive. If you're weak emotionally, you cannot survive. Think of police brutality, mass incarceration. Think of economic positioning, which has never been on their side. Think of Jim Crow laws, which really affected them. Now, think of of many other things, The legal system has never been on their side. And many a times they have found themselves in the hands of the police. It has not ended up well. So they are used to this. And for this one reason, things are not turning out to be so good on our brothers and sisters who voted for the same government, and protesting tariffs or deportations may seem less urgent compared to daily survival issues. They facing police brutality, mass incarceration, and so many other things. When are they going to get time to concentrate on things that are very less important to them? They are going 3 to 4 shifts a day to pay their bills in a land that has always oppressed them, So when are you telling me they are going to concentrate on issues that they didn't vote, on issues that less affect them? Unlike white farmers who, however, are used to government support, including subsidies, bailouts, political attention, and all these other things. In fact, I've been getting or seeing comments that most of the white farmers in Nebraska, Texas, California are used to bailouts, and they are also used to subsidies and government loans. And for this one case, they are not getting them. So they're like, why is this not happening? Unlike the black community, which is dealing with real issues that are life-threatening, and when their comfort is disrupted after electing the government, they react with outrage because they feel entitled to protection, and most of the same people who voted for the government to see some people suffering are now very, very upset. They're outraged because they are seeing things, very strange things. And for this, we must also remember that there is political calculation to this, that black Americans know their complaints are often ignored or dismissed over time, even if they elect a person of their own. Now, this usually happens in mainstream politics. In mainstream politics, I mean presidency and maybe governors and voting senators. And when black communities protest BLM, civil rights, or civil marches, they face heavy policing backlash. And most people do not agree with them. They're like, you people complain a lot, you've been here, and all those other stories. Now they're silent and the whole world is shocked. They want them to talk, they want them to come forward, so many things. Now this has created a culture of caution. Complaining loudly can backfire in most cases. When they complain loudly, people mistaken them to be aggressive and all that other stuff. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. Let's remember, unity, oneness is all humanity needs at the moment. Thank you.